Daily Dose of English presents Daily English Idioms. Part 6.
Meet your maker. Meaning. A phrase meaning to die. Examples. He was so old, he was ready to meet his maker. He was warned he had to stop living recklessly or he would meet his maker soon. He was glad he was still alive and hadn't yet had to meet his maker. The worse for wear. Meaning. A phrase meaning to be worn out, usually due to age or extensive use. Examples. The old sofa was looking worse for wear. After a long day of work, she was looking worse for wear. The shirt was worse for wear after he had worn it a few times. Take your life into your hands. Meaning. A phrase meaning to do something risky or dangerous. Examples. Crossing the highway like that was taking your life into your hands. She was taking her life into her hands by climbing that mountain alone. Going skydiving was taking his life into his hands. Call the shots / call the tune. Meaning. A phrase meaning to be in control or in charge. Examples. He was the one calling the shots for the project. She was the one calling the tune in the office. The manager was the one calling the shots at the meeting. Lend an ear. Meaning. A phrase meaning to listen to someone carefully. Examples. She was struggling with the problem, so I decided to lend her an ear. He needed someone to talk to, so I lent him an ear. They were having an argument, so I lent them both an ear. As dumb as an oyster. Meaning. A phrase meaning to be very unintelligent. Examples. He was as dumb as an oyster when it came to computers. She was as dumb as an oyster when it came to mathematics. He was as dumb as an oyster when it came to understanding the rules. Ride roughshod. Meaning. A phrase meaning to trample over, ignore, or be insensitive towards something. Examples. He was riding roughshod over the feelings of his employees. She had a tendency to ride roughshod over other people's opinions. He was always riding roughshod over his colleagues' ideas. Slam dunk. Meaning. A phrase meaning to do something easily. Examples. She had a slam dunk solution to the problem. It was a slam dunk victory for him. She was able to complete the task with a slam dunk. Words fail me. Meaning. A phrase meaning to be unable to express something, usually due to surprise or shock. Examples. When I saw the size of the cake, words failed me. Words failed me when I heard the news of his death. When I read her essay, words failed me. Hold the fort. Meaning. A phrase meaning to keep things in order while someone else is away. Examples. I asked him to hold the fort while I was away on vacation. She held the fort while her boss was on leave. He was asked to hold the fort while the manager took a break. In a world of your own. Meaning. A phrase meaning to be in a state of daydreaming or being preoccupied with something. Examples. She was in a world of her own when I tried to talk to her. He was in a world of his own when I asked him the question. She was in a world of her own when I saw her at the park. Black market. Meaning: a phrase meaning an illegal market or an exchange of goods and services that happens outside the law. Examples: he was known to be the leader of a black market ring. She was arrested for dealing in the black market. The police shut down a black market operation in the city. A cut above. Meaning: a phrase meaning to be superior or higher in quality than something else. Examples: he was a cut above the rest when it came to his work. Her recipe was a cut above the others. His skills were a cut above the average. Press, panic button. Meaning: a phrase meaning to take a drastic action or to take a drastic measure in response to something. Examples: he was pressed to press the panic button when the situation got dire. She decided to press the panic button when the project was behind schedule. The company was forced to press the panic button when their stocks plummeted. Away with the fairies. Meaning: a phrase meaning to be in a state of daydreaming or being preoccupied with something. Examples: he was away with the fairies when I asked him the question. She was away with the fairies when she walked past me in the hall. He was away with the fairies during the entire movie. Jump out of your skin. Meaning: a phrase meaning to be very surprised or shocked. Examples: he jumped out of his skin when I shouted at him. She jumped out of her skin when she saw the spider. He jumped out of his skin when he heard the news. Under your thumb. Meaning: a phrase meaning to be under someone's control. Examples: he was completely under her thumb. She was under her father's thumb. He was under the thumb of his boss. It takes two to tango. Meaning: a phrase meaning that it takes two people to have an argument or to do something. Examples: it takes two to tango, so don't blame him for the argument. It takes two to tango, so both of them were to blame. It takes two to tango, so they should both take responsibility for the project. In the lurch. Meaning: a phrase meaning to be in a difficult situation or to be left without help. Examples: he was left in the lurch when his colleagues quit. She was in the lurch when her boss fired her. He was in the lurch when his car broke down in the middle of nowhere. Blue around gills. Meaning: a phrase meaning to be very pale, usually due to illness or fear. Examples: he was looking blue around the gills when I saw him. She was looking blue around the gills after the accident. He was looking blue around the gills when he heard the news. Know the score. Meaning: a phrase meaning to know the facts or to understand the situation. Examples: he knew the score when it came to his job. She knew the score when it came to her sales targets. He knew the score when it came to the company's finances. Give your right arm. Meaning: A phrase meaning to be willing to sacrifice something important to you in order to get something else. Examples: he would give his right arm to be able to travel the world. She would give her right arm to be able to go to college. He would give his right arm to be able to buy a new car. Hold the reins. Meaning: a phrase meaning to have control or to be in charge. Examples: he was holding the reins of the project. She was holding the reins of the organization. He was holding the reins of the team. Pervert the course of justice. Meaning: a phrase meaning to corrupt the legal system by a false or illegal act. Examples: he was accused of perverting the course of justice. She was convicted of perverting the course of justice. He was found guilty of perverting the course of justice. Today's idioms were: meet your maker, the worse for wear, take your life into your hands, call the shots/call the tune, lend an ear, as dumb as an oyster, ride roughshod, slam dunk, words fail me, hold the fort, in a world of your own, black market, a cut above, press panic button, away with the fairies, jump out of your skin, under your thumb, it takes two to tango, in the lurch, blue around gills, know the score, give your right arm, hold the reins, pervert the course of justice.